All right. Hi and welcome, everybody. This is Tanya. I'm here with Milica Grujić. She is a seeker of the unseen. Her website is themilitsagrujic.com. It's in the video description here. And it's been a year or two since we last connected with each other, but when we did, we had a little pre-interview chat, and it was really, we were diving into some nitty-gritty stuff that I felt was really, just felt really alive and really authentic and genuine. And like, you know, I just feel like for those of us that are looking at what's happening all around us and asking the bigger questions of what's really being asked of us. Like, what does it mean to be human? What does it mean to live a full life? And how do we do it in the face of everything that's going on, right? And so yeah, Seeker of the Unseen, you have a book that's called Endless that's coming out. So yeah, let's just dive into the conversation, open it up with what you'd like to share to start us off.
Well, good. First, thank you for having me. I was looking forward to it because, it's been a year and we did change. And then you realize how much we changed since our last conversation, yet the energy is still here. So something so palpable, so automatic, so synchronized already is very helpful to notice. So the book that I am going to debut this fall is going to be all about that. In the world that falls apart, how do you stay centered? How do you stay collected and whole? And most important thing is that you are one as a whole anyway. And the more we look outside of ourselves, the more fractal we become, the more broken we become, the more separated and split we become. So I really am into deep diving into the individuality and rebelliousness of being an individual that is whole, collected, regardless of what is happening outside. And in all honesty, I don't know why the urge is there. So it's the following the path that comes from a no mind, meaning not from the head because I have to do it. I have a list of things to do, rather than there's a sense that it's pushing itself through me.
Mhm.
And we all have it. We just have to learn how to trust it. So these values that you mentioned that are important for
Mhm.
us to recognize, it really comes down to understanding them properly, because we're not really taught correct way of thinking of love, of freedom, of individuality, of self-love. We're taught a little cricket way. They're kind of spun upside down, but we need to put them in the right place in order for us to approach them differently and really relax into them when they happen. These are invisibles that happen in our life, and we can't sit and wait and expect them. We cannot do anything about them. But when they happen, they come as a shock, and we actually don't know what to do with them. So we automatically reject them. Psychosomatic way comes in. We push them aside. We're afraid of it. And of course, in the social media world and today's internet, everything is about protecting you from such things, in which you really are not allowing flow to come, spontaneity of life to occur. Because you're not prepared. You don't know what to do with this. So the emptiness inside becomes bigger and it grows and compounds rather than filling it up with something that you are learning how to trust.
Mhm.
So that's why seeker of the unseen, because all that I see will not be there. It's just a matter of time. But what I don't see and what I understand deeply is a totally different world to enter.
Mhm. Yeah, I remember many years ago, I heard Zen master Adyashanti say that the unseen is far more real than the seen. The unmanifest is so much more powerful and real than what is manifest. And yeah, and loneliness and disconnection is an epidemic. It's like, yeah, it seems to be really apparent, right? People becoming untethered, depressed, unhealthy. And what I certainly notice is with the technology that's here now, it's like, it's amplifying, and I think I don't think it's something that we can resist. Like I think astrologically, it's there as part of the Aquarian age. Like this technology, it's doing its thing, and I cannot imagine like stopping it in its tracks. But I do feel like it's calling us to really ask, okay, well, what does it mean to be human? Like if we're consuming everything from, a screen, we're not listening to live music, we're not being out in nature and listening to bird song, we're not having in-person conversations, we're not, engaging with our bodies, like it just becomes this, you know, perfect recipe for, I don't know, just that despair, that disconnection. And so it feels to me like as technology increases, we do have to learn to use it, but we also then have to um, engage with those activities that keep us in our bodies, right? So I don't know, maybe speak to more about that. Like, let's
Mm.
speak about art and music and what
Yes.
does it mean to love and, all of that. And this kind of rebirth, I mean, it does feel like a birthing process that we're going through. We're having to figure out, okay, wait a minute, all this stuff is being presented to me and I have a choice to make, you know?
Hmm. Really good topic. And it can actually be connected exactly to the topics, the values of the humanists, and we can simplify it rather than complex, think of it as a complexity.
Mm,
Just look into what is it pointing at. All the advancements are outside of us. And what is the pulling? What is the center that it pulls away from us? It's the head.
mm, mm.
The
For
heart
me.
cannot be taken away. It's a fact. It is it's intrinsic value that cannot be replaced. So when your head is out and when your head is gone and you're no body, no one, no name, no title, no right. So this pull out of your head can also be beneficial. And this is why I said it's all about understanding what is happening so you can position yourself to receive what is naturally coming to you. Intelligence that we possess comes with us to this life. We are tuned into the cosmic whole because we're part of it. We come with existence. And what a mystery that we're here on earth.
Right.
And when you start learning the love about it, you will start learning about, look, you if I thought how to beat my heart, I will not make it.
Right. Right.
If I had to process how to cycle the blood through my body 16 times a day or how many times, I would die. Intelligence is doing its own thing without us thinking much. And all these external factors are related to the small part of our also thought programmed intelligence. So if the mind is a master, heart is placed aside, awaiting, but it's still there. It's the fact that we can feel the beauty in classical music. We really smell that fragrant rose when we buy it. We look at it in such awe. Sunsets, sunrises, love. We experience not only the chemical reaction, but we also blast open in our heart. But like I said, earlier, we don't really understand it because we are taught just how to become something. We're not taught how to sit and feel what is occurring, how to really open ourselves up to existence to come and touch us. Right? If you are learning your heart and how what it wants, what it's giving you, what do you already have? You're slowly tipping the scale for it to become a master. You're learning how to trust it. You're learning internal language of it. It speaks very different language. It's very soft. It's
Mhm.
very slow. It takes time. And it confuses the mind. So it's all about tipping the scale and really realizing who is the master. Because you have two centers. You have more than two, actually.
Hmm.
But all that it's taken, the center, that its main center, especially in the Western cultures, is the head. We're processing everything through the head. I'll just give you the example, Tanya. If I tell you your liver is stupid, you wouldn't get offended. There is no sense of offense. You will not get insulted. But if I tell you what you just said is stupid, you will get insulted.
Right. True.
So we really personalize everything through the head. And it's just a matter of time realizing that. So you can actually open your door to a different intelligence. You have it. It is within you. It is there. We just have to pay attention and learn about it because that is what they're not teaching us. Actually, if you really look the world around, they're all teaching us aggressiveness, warrior, to fight, to freeze, to flight. And psychology cannot be explained. There is just fractal after fractal. You can dissect it more and more and label and define it. And it goes endlessly.
Hmm.
But in the meantime, there's a whole other part of you that is not being noticed, you
Yeah,
know?
is not being tended to. Yeah, that it's like it's that shiny object. It's like, oh, the mind thinks whatever, data, information, what can I use to get what I want? Like it's all very strategic.
Yes.
And the heart is not strategic. It's only in the mind, right? And so when we get so caught up in that, it's just like, and if you follow that, you're like, okay, well, where is that leading me ultimately? Where is that leading us ultimately? Just this consumption of even the idea of, becoming better. There's a lot of like self-improvement, out there, like how to optimize who you are, how to um, change your identity so that you can have more, be more, like everything's about more. And yeah, you're right. The heart really could care less about all of that ultimately.
Yeah, it's more. It also has more, but
Mm,
more of what is the question?
mm, mm,
More of something that is your quality or more of something that it's forced upon you? That's where rebelliousness comes in play. And that's where individuality comes in play. Because you can take everything away from me, but my inner, you can't. Off I go with it everywhere I go. When you learn how not to react to the life and life will serve, okay, it's nature. We have volcanoes, earthquakes, tornadoes, and stuff, but we also have a human mind that it's also chaotic a little bit and neurotic.
mhm.
When these things happen, you learn how not to react to it and you learn to step away a little bit, step back and think. If everybody's going this way, it's just question. And the really initial opening to self is to start questioning your thoughts and learn how to question them. Question, especially if they're not coming and arising from you rather than they're given to you. Because this is everything outside is going to attack your way of thinking. And it's actually going to shrink your world so small that you will feel powerless. You will have a sense of totally being repressed. And look outside, all the systems are falling apart. Marriage, love, institution, finance, future, safety. All of these security, they're all falling apart. And where is it, where? Then where?
Mhm.
Where do you go and how do you actually stand sane, alert, aware? And
Mhm.
you, most important, you. Nothing breaks you once you start tapping into it because then you take larger space and you actually fully have to face the rejection from the outside world. That's rebelliousness. You're not going out there to demonstrate on the streets and fight for a belief. No, you're actually believing in self. And you don't have to demonstrate it. You don't even have to announce it. It is inner process and it is you. It is related to you. You
Mhm.
question and you feel more confident in your own. You don't, there's a seed that starts growing within. And it does wonders once you realize how to trust it, once you learn its language, once you learn, and it takes patience, slowness, really a total inner. While life is happening, of course, we're all going to be here, but I'm happening too.
Yeah, I mean
I,
that is so powerful what you just said. I hope people heard that because to me it feels like it's almost kind of like, when you get backed into a corner, like we're told to believe like, oh, all the answers are out there, right? This is gonna save you. This is gonna, there's all these things that, oh yeah, it's all gonna hold me up. And when you see that collapse, oh, well, that's falling apart, and that's falling apart, and that's falling apart. It's true. You realize all you're left with is yourself, like you in your own life, your own vital life force. And in a way, it's almost, it is the beginning of freedom. It's the beginning of like, oh, well, shit. I have free
Uh-huh.
will and choice, you know? Okay, so when all of that is falling apart, like, okay, well, then what is it that I want to create? I feel like it returns us to realizing like you are a creator. You have that inside of you to create.
Hmm.
People start waking up and realize like, oh, wait a minute, I have that creative force inside of me. What do I want to do with it? What is the world and the culture that I want to live in? What do I want to be tending to? You know? Um, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And you mentioned freedom. And I'll just add one thing too related to freedom. It's the biggest value there is for human to realize. You know, you can sacrifice love for freedom, but you'll never sacrifice freedom for love. Love comes second. Really, though it's huge, it's massive. These are big values to take just in this tiny little humanness and tiny little awareness, if any. But freedom from is not the same as freedom towards. So we're now in this limbo because freedom from, I no longer want this. I reject, I refuse, no longer it's me. I don't buy it. But the question then becomes towards, and that's when you said creative. Then your energy comes in to carry you every day, full, fulfilled. You then start noticing what charges you up, what discharges you, where are you filled up, what is talking. And this is a whole other unknown that we're not prepared because we don't understand it.
Mm,
And it's not darkness, it's not bliss, it's not, nobody guarantees anything. Why? Because life is uncertain. Essence of life is uncertain. And we have to learn how to enjoy what we have now. So your future becomes totally unknown, uncertain, no guarantee. And your past is no longer part of you because you outgrew the pot.
mhm.
You're a massive tree in tiny little pot and you're breaking and you're aiming, but towards what are you aiming? Right? So this limbo is also really interesting to notice because now when I am free from what I thought I needed to be, now what? What guides me
Yeah,
when there's no one else to guide me?
right. What is actually true for me?
Yes. What
I
is unique to you?
Yeah, I have been feeling um, this interesting, well, it's an interesting time, COVID, everything went online, Zoom became huge, AI came into play. And um, at the time, it felt like exciting, right? Like it felt like, oh, there's so much potential here, and what can I create? And but there's something about the human being that like it just it it, it might the attraction to that or the novelty of that wears off over time, or it has, at least for me, it definitely has for me. Maybe not for everybody, but certainly for myself. And I've just felt like, wow, like my body craves like wanting to be in place, like putting my energy into the people around me, like, and starting to look at, okay, well, if this is where I'm living, what am I tending to? Am I connected to my neighbors? Am I developing my relationships? Like my closer circles, um, suddenly feel really important and feel like that's the way forward is, um, yeah, what is the quality of your connections? And that's something that um, the mind can't necessarily cultivate, like the heart has to be involved. And so um, I'm curious, like, because I live remotely, I live in a mountain town, it's tiny, I'm blessed to live in nature. I don't live in a city. And so I'm curious for you living in Los Angeles, and I lived there many years ago, like, what do you see starting to shift there? Like, are people feeling this as well? Or is there like this desire to be like, oh my God, let's bring back the art and let's bring back the, I don't know, the creativity, the connection, the neighborhood gatherings. I don't know. Like, what's happening there?
Such a good question. This is um, a farmer's market. I like to call it. And you know why? Because everybody, all religions, all nationalities, all people, all colors, all genders, all novelty, all old is here and it's functioning. And it's interesting because anywhere else you go, other than here, it's chill.
Mhm.
Nobody minds you. Yes, we have a places where you don't want to enter. We also have, like India,
Mhm.
extreme left and extreme right. You're talking is extreme ignorance and extreme potential. So it's a full city of everything. And what I'm noticing is that the city itself is very moving towards health and wellness in all ways possible through food, through silence, through meditation, through workshops, through a lot of social gatherings, a lot of small shops.
Mhm.
And the city has been doing this for quite a long time, but now there's a wave of wellness happening that people really, there is no nightlife in LA. And there is, you no longer, yeah, here and there, dots and spots of leftover medicine journeys, but actually it's clean and pure. The body is purifying.
Wow.
And you will notice that the spaces where you're entering into is very much related to the inner world. That's what I'm noticing. So
Mhm.
a lot of activities that is physical body, love for the body.
Mhm.
Yes, for the looks as well. It's a bit superstitious, but you're also doing it for yourself as well. Then a lot of sitting gatherings that are small, private, a lot of music, a lot of artistry, a lot of just guitar, and a lot of next to the fire, a lot of that. But the city doesn't care about you. And here's the best part because no one really cares. City will never care about you. You have to be ready to be on your own. You mentioned loneliness and aloneness.
Mhm.
It's two different things that are occurring. In
Mhm.
this city, you can be anything you want and anyone. And tomorrow you can change your face and try another mask or another you or another wave of uniqueness or another artistry. It doesn't matter. And I think it's so free that people that you meet, you might not hold for forever. So it allows you total changeability and novelty all the time. It's fast, it's always changing, and you have to have an energy to sustain it. That's what I am noticing. So loneliness and aloneness, you can feel very alone in this city, lonely.
Mhm.
But alone means I am enough for myself. Anywhere I go, I come full of self, fulfilled with me. And I don't need someone else to fulfill me. I don't need to go and hang out with you and you and you and do all of this. I don't. I choose to.
Mhm.
That's rebelliousness. That's the individuality. Once you find your own language and what really suits you and works for you, once a week is enough for me to go and discharge all of me to people, into society, into world, into all the community. But I have a lot of charging to do on my own.
Mhm.
But in that process, I'm learning something from you too. So yes, I need you, but I don't need you to fulfill me. I'm already fulfilled. I need you so I can share me.
Right.
It's a big difference. So the city itself doesn't care. Nobody cares about you. People pass. But that is also, you see how I flip the things upside down?
Mhm.
And I think once you start understanding that every single thing can be flipped, it has its opposition, and the way you approach it can be approached from a different angle, you start learning how life is positive, not negative, how you get to choose what you want, how you need to learn what is it that you need to become your own quality and carry on, regardless of the world outside, regardless of the city. It doesn't actually matter where you live. It matters how you understand yourself and how you understand the world and where are you going to fulfill yourself and what it is that you need. That towards, that to, not only from, to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I and also um I feel like there's also this, the influence of or lack of influence or the changing nature of money and how we're valuing it. Like, um, again, I feel like, I mean, I guess I want to dive into that topic because I do feel like we are facing the choice, okay, what am I choosing to value, right? And money is that thing that, you know, is the means for the value of, the exchange of value. And it's like what um I'm wondering if like as a culture or something that I'm asking for myself about, for myself is a lot of people I know are struggling financially, right? There's just the inflation, like when we're talking about the crumbling systems, the financial world being one of them, right? And the economy and everything. Um, there is, and I know that Charles Eisenstein talked about this. I think he talks about in Sacred Economics, where suddenly we find ourselves where every aspect of being human is monetized, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
not only for products and things that you make, but even like advice that you give. Like I'm going to charge for that. Whereas maybe in the past you just shared your advice or you shared your wisdom. It wasn't something that was monetized or caring for children or, things like this. And what I'm noticing is like people can't afford all of those things. They can't just be like forking out money for every little thing that they need to sustain their life, right? And so again, coming up against that wall of like, oh, there's just me in the end, ultimately, uh, am I going to withhold my gifts just because no one's going to give me money for it? So I'm beginning to question like, does everything we do have to be transactional? Or is that going to open different ways for exchange? Like I think of time banking or, trade. I mean, that's old, but how do how do we, because ultimately it's just life force moving through. It's just, changing forms of life force and how it's exchanged, and money is just that means through which we do the exchange. And so, um, yeah, I'm curious if you have thoughts about that or if that comes up in your teachings.
Uh, yes, it manifests itself as a fear. But when you're fearing something, you can't really tap into love of anything. You can't love that it is. Fear and love don't work together. They're a total opposite. You're either fearful and you're expanding in it, or you're loveful and you're expanding in it. If you look generations backwards, our parents and then our grandparents. Grandparents inherited post-world wars a bunch of territory. It was given for free. And then they can plant and they can survive and they can build agriculture and feed themselves, at least from where I come from Europe. And then our parents had enough money to buy themselves a house, a pool, 10 bedrooms, and then just enjoy vacations, summer once a year, winter skiing once a year. It was very slow and very future was guaranteed.
Mhm.
It was very secure and safe. And then we come. Nothing is safe. There's no future. You almost know that your retirement won't do because banks will fall apart. You almost know that your love will not be forever until death do us apart. You almost know your marriage is yet to start crumbling, and you are saying yes to something that you almost sense will end. Okay? You're entering the old, the new with the old way. We only know the old. The mind only lives in the past. And it will recycle, 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 recycle. Why? Because it doesn't know new.
Mm.
Where the new comes from. Where is the new?
Mhm.
So when novel comes in, you reject it. Simple example, when love hits you, you say, oh no, because you're not intelligent, you're not. There's a list. Requirement. Love has no requirements. It is not something that you have to do. It's not duty. It happens. It actually is the door for you to be.
Mm.
For the first time ever, you touch the depth of yourself because mind shuts off. I always say, and people get always shocked, there's three ways to shut off your mind and become no mind so you can enter into the space and feel your being.
Mm.
Death, meditation, and love. No one, everybody wants to talk about death. No one wants to do meditation. It's really hard. And love, everybody's fearful of it because it's painful.
Right.
But it is not painful. It is painful because you're starting to fill yourself up and you were empty previously. You realize that who you are inside is just empty shell. And you're with love, you're filling yourself up. You are discovering this part of you, and then you're discovering this part of you, and then this part of you, and then this part of you. Love for another human being really replicates the love for self. And when you start loving you, you start acting in life differently. Less of fear, more of love. It's the scale that tips. So you almost fill the jar with love. And suddenly, when you talk to someone, Tanya, like you and I
Mm.
can tell you, there's no fear in this. It's very free flow. When you allow yourself to open, you never know. You allow existence to touch you with its unknown, with its unpredictability, with its uncertainty. And you trust that.
Mm.
So that's why we say you must be crazy out of your mind, unreasonably, with no reason whatsoever, no logic, to trust that and trust life to guide you. So in modern time, when future does not exist anymore, you can't live your parents' lives anymore. We, I'm speaking to me. My future is until tomorrow. I only know what I'm going to do tomorrow.
Totally.
And if I am spending entire day today thinking about my future, which my retirement, I am really wasting my time and opportunity to become me now. I trust them now. I'm learning how to trust now, and you and I is all that exists right now in my moment. And if I can open my heart and blast it open, I trust that somewhere something, even if it's nothing, will be worth it because my quality stays with me. The richness actually becomes inner, not outer. Outer, you will figure it out. You have many more people that are not even aware of their own depth and their intelligence, are also unhealthy, bodily, mind. Many, many people. But if someone who is healthy, at least standard healthy, capable, why fear? Trust you, trust your intelligence, trust your body that will sleep, rejuvenate, give you the energy. Trust your will that will show up and push you towards it. Trust the unknown, trust life because life itself is intelligence. And just to add to that, and you know, nature is really smart. She's so intelligent that she somehow balances everything. And if you really look into the nature of existence, everything is balanced. Everything is balanced. Even we are balanced. Our body is very balanced. The only part that it's not balanced is the heart that goes a little bit on the left side because we pushed it aside. So
Mm.
if you learn how to trust its intelligence, it will show you the path towards you, towards your being, and that you will trust more than anybody else. That is a very out of mind path to learn.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I've definitely, um, in this last year, I've been involving myself in this practice that's called mutual awakening. And it's where you're connecting with the other person It involves eye gazing.
Hmm.
And what it doesn't involve is knowing who the person is, oh, what do they do? Where are they from? None of that matters in this practice. And it is that when you're making contact with somebody and you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to figure out who you are. Like, I'm not going to know your story and how many brothers and sisters do you have and how much money you make or what you like or you don't like, all those things. And I expand my awareness to just be in the moment and really make contact with the essence of that person, our two beings meeting and touching each other. There's something in that liminal space that suddenly it's like entering a different world or a different reality of like suddenly having your eyes open and going like, oh my gosh, what is this? Well, it feels like freedom. It feels like infinite possibility. It feels like intimacy. It feels like it has, and there's a sense of, the life moving through. And I feel like we haven't even begun to touch what that is as far as like our human potential. Like we've gotten really good with the mind and figuring how to put shit together, you know. Everything around us is because of the mind's cleverness, you know. But
Yes.
there's this whole other realm that's just like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
We're on that edge, I think, or we have that potential. We also have the potential to continue to push it away, right? So it's kind of, that's where I feel like we're at.
Exactly. And it brings the question, what do you trust? What is that you trust is your nature? Nature is just one part of you. Mind also is part of the body. But we taught the mind and we outgrew it. We are overdue to expand into a different intelligence. How come nobody taught us heart? And when the heart happens and we allow a little space to enter into the fields of the heart, it is so pure because it's not programmed. This is programmed. So eventually it turns not to be pure. It's actually not even innocent. It's so calculated. You said it's clever. Yes, it's intellectual. It knows, it predicts, it analyzes, it forecasts, it wants, it desires all the time. But the purity is what actually, in which you discover yourself, the purity and the innocence, which we lost through the mind.
Mhm.
So I'll give you another example. So why is love and hate is almost the same energy? They say hate is just love that turned sideways
Right. Yeah,
or
yeah. I
went
think
upside down.
Osho talks about that, I think.
Yes, yes, and he is very well in explaining this one thing. It's like, how come I don't tell you I love you from my guts?
Mm.
From the depth of my being. He goes, I hate you from my guts because it's so pure.
Uh,
It's unpolluted. It is not programmed. It is a pure energy to use. The same way, I often say when you are angry, it's so much power that lives inside of you. It's fire that doesn't know how to filter. So it moves into the mind and then it does its own way, programmed way. But if you are not, if you, the person who is not angry, is someone who cannot love either because you repress the anger so much, you push it, you don't understand it, you don't want to touch it, you're programmed not to be angry, to be nice, polite, gentleman. It's like, but if you're not expressing, because anger out of love is really harmless.
mm,
I will be in my heart telling you I love you so much and I'm so angry, but you don't feel that I can harm you, you know?
mm,
You feel almost grateful for it because I am experiencing love towards you. All of it is love. It's just a power or the energy that it's not transmuted yet. So the energy will transmute. You mentioned something earlier. You're at the age, at the time of your life when you are settling. You want safety around, you want your community, your locality to be your safe nest.
mhm,
So there will come the time in life when the energy will transmute. It's very normal. And we thought we're going to be young forever or we're going to have all this energy. No, sometimes it just has its own path and it's normal. The body is going to give up on us eventually. It's nature. Every tree is gonna fall down. But what is that stays is the question. That's where understanding your value, human value, not body value, not the I, me, mine value, who am I, how I look, behind it. If you can go behind your eyes and notice how your eyes are moving, then you're entering into being a witness of your own cycle.
Mhm.
And you allow yourself to let it be, let it show you, let it teach you. But you're depersonalizing everything that is happening at the periphery and you're slowly coming into the center. So you can come closer to the center or you can move away from it. And what we see, you and I, in the modern world, is people moving away from it. You mentioned that before we entered into the conversation. It's very hard to find someone you can deep dive into the qualities. You can enter the topic into and feel expansion from it because everybody's moving away from their own center.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's so interesting as you were talking, what this brought up for me. I'll never forget my youngest child is an easy he was always an easygoing child, always goes with the flow, doesn't ever wasn't ever rebelling, like just easy kid, what you call the easy kid that everybody, all the teachers loved and the parents loved and like, could do no harm. And I remember I can't remember. We had some kind of an argument where I was just like not budging. I think it had something to do with his computer. And it was his first time expressing anger towards me. I mean, I think he actually said, "Fuck you, mom." And I was like, "Oh, okay. There he is. Right on, brother." Like, I'm glad there's something there. You know what I mean? Like to see that. It's almost like, um, it's so true that authenticity when you were talking about the anger or whatever, it's like um it is pure in its expression. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I exist.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I just had to share that because I was like, yeah, it's so true.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
And you said it's in expression, not repression.
right.
And we're taught not to be angry. We're taught to be perfect. We can't.
Yeah.
But being trying to be so polite for society actually moves you away from your individuality, on your naturalness, on your, we jump leap. We don't crawl in evolution. We jump. We have to, there's a burst of energy. And they say before you die, your energy is going to go through the roof before it disappears. It's like you leap, you jump leap. And we have to learn how to allow this. And everybody is afraid of it because, today I'm this, tomorrow I'm that. Every morning is different morning. Every morning is different morning.
Yeah.
But you would hold me on the bed more than you would give me a benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's where you can notice that everybody is away from the center because once you sense this in you, you will see the quality in someone else in it and you will honor it. Once you feel the freedom, you will never imprison anybody else. You will not, it's hard to take it away from someone.
Mhm.
Once you sense your individuality, these qualities are almost becoming gifts to other. It is true, but you have to recognize them, yourself in order to recognize them in other. So that anger that came in, and you went like, "Oh, buddy, that is love talking." It's just a different language, different quality of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Heart, heart.
Hmm. Yeah. And this again, like, yeah, that moving people moving away from their center, it creates so much anxiety. And I'll share this dream and then I want to ask you about your book. So, this dream I had really recently, I dreamt I was on this big cliff, like Grand Canyon type of cliff. And it was my husband and I, and we're trying not to fall off the cliff. Like, we're in this precarious little spot, like clinging to the side, like, and I look off into the distance, and these people in squirrel suits were like, pew, they were like flying off the cliff, just, free falling, flying through the air. I mean, just one after the other after another. And I'm clinging to the cliff, looking at that. I'm going like, okay, we either have to jump or we just have to go someplace else. It's like this clinging to the cliff and not like, you know. But it is that like I just feel that like what you are talking about is that okay, that stepping into that unknown and giving ourselves the permission to experience that freedom. And it is a letting go. You do have to let go. You have to step into the unseen. You have to be willing to be in the dark and just feeling
Yes.
your way through with that open heart, you know. The heart
Hmm.
has to be open, otherwise it's a disaster, I think, right?
Yeah, and that's why I say fall in love so you will rise.
Yeah.
Fall in the ditch of love. Fall, keep falling in love because the love is going to open you up. It will change you to your quality. It will open you up to you. You know, love is different from lust. Love expands you, you become more of self if it's true love. And it visits. If you go directly at it, it will disappear. It is not meant to be placed in the bottle, in the pocket, locked by law. No, you kill it. You have, it happens so rare that you almost don't want to lose because it opens you up to self. And then you feel yourself slowly up. You change you realize, you awaken to self when you're in love. But you know, jumping off the cliff, for example, and to letting go, you said the freedom, you know, we, when we start contemplating that, life suddenly becomes very important. And it becomes, it, it enlivens you because you take it seriously. And metaphorically, we don't take life seriously because we're not thinking about the death. But if you notice older people, our parents, if you have your parents that are alive still, you will notice how much they want to live, fulfill their life. The closer they come to that, suddenly there's so much energy. Suddenly they want to eat healthy. They want to, it's everybody turns towards health, wellness, and everything else later. Not because they want to live, because they realize the emptiness is just big and there's just a little time left. So they almost replace the deaths for the full blown life. And we can do this earlier in life, but we don't contemplate on that and the ending. And we don't think that we're coming closer to the end and we're losing life every moment of the day. And that is the realization that when it hits, you really take your life as your chance, opportunity given.
Mhm.
It is to discover that mystery inside. We're mysterious beings. Life has no reason to be, but it is. And we happen to be very much alive. So, as everything I know is already a past. 45 minutes later, I'm new. I have a chance for novelty. And you know, when you enter into that space of self and you become almost attuned to your own intelligence, to your own seasons, your waves, your magic, your mystery, your unknowns and knowns, you allow your life to guide you towards you. Your entire time, you're not losing you, you're gaining you. Life helps you gain yourself back. And you feel as if you're going as this like space, which just is. You're not losing, you're gaining.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to just point out because you have beautiful words. Your words are from the heart.
Mm.
One can notice. It's like when you speak, there's no, you are careful, but you're intelligent about it. You're not intellectualizing them. You're not copying, pasting. You are speaking from the heart. That's the language.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good questions. Thank you.
So good. So your book's coming out in the fall. Tell us
Mhm.
a little bit about that. What's Endless about? Is it about everything we've been talking?
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. And
Yeah.
it's very contemplative. It's actually, it's not meant to revolutionize you. It is meant to invite you to contemplate. So it's full of aphorisms. It's
Mm.
full of redefinitions. They're very simplified. There's a poetry in it, but there's also prose. There's a storytelling through it. And they touch a lot of values that we're losing sense of. And I don't know why. I have no idea why. When I contemplate, the thought just comes in. I write it. So the book has been in making for almost a year. And I just feed it and feed it and feed it. So now it's up to me to let it go.
Mhm.
because it's not mine. I don't identify with it. Something often I would write and go back, read it, and I would not think that I can actually think like that. But again, the same thing, it comes out.
Yeah.
These intelligence that rises up, it bubbles up. So, and it's meant for others because it's already part of me. It came through me. And it's not even mine. I don't identify with it. So it is very much going to penetrate you. It's meant to penetrate your thoughts, and it's meant for a lot of silence, a lot of contemplations. It's meant for 1 page, 2 pages a day, not to burst through. It's meant to give you a companionship and really invite you to approach values differently,
Mhm.
beautifully, artfully. There's beauty in every single one of us, and our beauty is intrinsic value. We are so beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Mind just shrinks us down to only mind can say that you're not. Your heart is full of beauty and life.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what kind of offerings do you have right now? I know you give classes and lectures. Is that all in person? Is there stuff online that you're doing?
I'm not doing anything online yet, but I am doing in-person workshops. So I'm planning on doing one actually in LA this fall as well with the book. And I am going around and I'm reading poetry as of right now. But all the offerings will be on my website. They always change. No workshop is the same. I don't repeat at all whatsoever, anything. It is once and done because that's the energy, that's the time that it wanted to take. So I just allow myself and I show up for it. And just to give the example, I've done a poetry in the nature together with hike. I read my poetry as well in the local bookshops. I've done the workshops on anger, on the emotion regulation, and somatic work of 4 different emotions, almost embodying it and letting it go. I think it's very important for us to feel them and understand them and let them go. And most of the time, there are lectures, and then there are actual some part of embodiment in it too. So.
Yeah.
But all of it will be on the website.
Yeah,
Tanya, thank you.
beautiful. Milica, thank you so much for showing up. I'm looking forward. I want to get your book. It sounds amazing. And I just love you and your all of your expression and who you are, how you show up in the world. It really is a gift. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you for your time. This was a beautiful 1 minute conversation. The time has stopped. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.